Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Dana Scranton, and welcome to 8 Minute Wisdom. All right, today is the final episode in our series on my notes from Anthony Robbins, aka Tony Robbins, and Dean Graciosi's online webinar entitled The Game Has Changed. And in this series, I've just gone over some of the ideas that grabbed me as worthy of sharing, perhaps enabling. So today we're going to do the closing words on that. And I want to go over some basic ideas and philosophies that were communicated during that webinar. Now you can go back and look at the purpose of the webinar in the prior episodes, or you can just get on the internet and look up "The Game Has Changed, Tony Robbins." And that will take you probably right to the page where they'll describe to you what they're talking about. But fundamentally, for your purposes and my purposes, the game that has changed is what they refer to as the knowledge industry. I call it the knowledge economy. In other words, the things that you know that could be of value to the world can be brought out and monetized. And they offer a system to do that. It's up to you to determine what that value is, if you possess it currently, or you need to learn it or polish it up. But that's what they're doing. They're offering a system. It's got a price associated with it, but you have to determine, is the price worth paying to get what you want? Well, having said that, I'm going to go over the final philosophies and ideas that seem to really grabbed me the most, the ones that stood out as what I would like to share with somebody who knows nothing about entrepreneurship, or somebody who's getting ready to jump into it, or somebody who's already in it, who is either successful or struggling. It doesn't matter. These philosophies are universal. So what I'd like to do is share my screen here, and we will get right into it. All right. Well, first of all, what I've got here is, like I say, these are the notes and the philosophies, the takeaways. So first of all, let's go number one. Leverage the resources of others. Don't assume you have to go it alone. You know, when it comes to solo entrepreneurship, I can't tell you the number of times that I have talked to people who have one excuse, and that is, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the education, I don't have the resources. It's all prefaced with, I don't have. Don't do that. There are resources out there that you can access, especially in this incredible world of digital information. And now you've got AI out there where you can ask questions. You can literally educate yourself through AI. Of course, be mindful that sometimes AI is confused, but you have the ability to teach yourself anything you need to know to be successful in life today. It all comes down to some of the ideas we're going to talk about here. Don't assume you have to go it alone. There are people, mentors, coaches, resources out there that are available to you. Take advantage of them. So that's number one. Don't put on the cape of someone else's passion. Be your own hero. You know, this is one of those things where your identity needs to be your own. Don't assume the identity of someone else. Now, you can copy somebody's success tactics, you can copy their strategies, but ultimately, you are your own person. You are your own hero. Don't try to be a hero to people who don't care whether you're successful or not. Be your own hero. Map out your vision, your purpose, the identity, the person you want to be. Pursue it as if your life depended on it, because it does. Okay? Whatever you focus on, you'll feel whether it's real or not. Listen to your feelings. You know, this is something that in today's society is really getting masked. And it's getting masked because we are consumed with information coming at us from multiple directions that does not have our best interest in mind. And we have literally been bombarded with what I call emotional propaganda. The media, the institutions of society have learned how to use your emotions against you and for their purposes. So it's no surprise to me why people have lost their focus in many areas of life. Don't be one of those. Focus on what you want. And if you feel it, if you can feel an emotional engagement, if you can feel that warm, fuzzy feeling inside, then you're on track. If what you're focusing on does nothing for you and it's just burning time and giving you a sense of, well, I did it, that's not what's driving you. You've got to find the thing to focus on that sets you one step further down the path to success in getting what you want. Okay. The next line goes right into that. But whatever you do, focus on what matters and will move you in the direction of your desires and dreams. Desires and dreams are fueled by emotion. If you don't have an emotional engagement with what you want and why you want it, you will not get it. It's that simple. And if you do get it, it won't last. It'll disappear because it was never part of you in the first place. Make what you pursue part of you, or take that part of you that desires something and bring it out with a passion. Okay. The next one I find really illuminating. Some people live to survive, others live to succeed. Which one are you? To what degree are you one of those? Look, I've encountered a lot of people over the years in various career paths and entrepreneurial ventures who were living to survive. Everything they did was about survival. And I woke up one day and I thought about that and said, these people that I know that I viewed as being very successful, after knowing them a while, they were not nearly as successful as they could have been. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these folks were millionaires, but they could have gone well beyond where they were if they weren't playing the game of survival. Survival is scarcity. When you are living to survive, you are thriving on scarcity. Scarcity is not a place you want to be. You want to be on the side of abundance. And that's the people who live to succeed. And success is really up to you. Success is a term, a value, a meaning that you define for you, not what the world defines for you. Success for you may be totally different. It's what brings you fulfillment, happiness, and joy. But you do that from the perspective of abundance. Okay. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Oh boy, is this true. When you look at it, the more complex you make something, the more complicated, of course, it is. The more thought processes have to go into, the more what ifs show up, the more absence of knowledge and skill and awareness creep into the whole program. Keep it simple. Keep asking the questions. Do I need to know this? Do I need to do this? Is this valuable to me? Don't make it complex to make it sound like you're being valuable to somebody or yourself. Keep it simple, so simple that you could teach it to a 5-year-old. Well, okay, maybe a 10-year-old, but do make it simple. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Desire is backed by feeling, and emotional engagement is the energy of success. Now, I've alluded to that earlier, but it is energy. Your emotions and your feelings are energy. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Sometimes they may confuse you, but they're there to prompt you to think, to feel. Say, okay, what is it that's causing me to feel this way about that? Whether it's fear or whether it's desire, whatever it is, you've got to come to grips with it, because on the other side of that emotion, that feeling is the next step to success. In most cases, it's your inner voice trying to tell you something. It just wants to be listened to. Okay. Nobody is coming to save you. It's all on you. Embrace it. Look, how many people do you know out there who are waiting for somebody to come along and give them the magic key to the kingdom? How many people say, when my ship comes in? Well, that's kind of an old saying. How many people say, well, when I finally get, as opposed to I have? Yeah, that's a little abstract. What you have to do is see in your mind right now today what it is you know you will have in the future, as if you were living that today. And that's part of understanding that you are your own savior. You are your own hero. Okay, some other hero isn't coming to save you. You are it. You're the hero. Put on the cape, Jump off the building and fly. Embrace it. It's something that very few people will do until they see you do it. Okay, care about the results that you deliver to others and the value you bring. Be proud of what you know. Be proud of who you are. Don't let the world tell you you aren't something they want you to be. Don't let the world tell you what you should be, what you should say, what you should think, what you should do. Do the things that move you in the direction of what you desire, your purpose, your vision. Move in that direction. Be focused, focused on the right things. Keep it simple. That was a mouthful. Let's go to the next one. Perspective is either your power or your prison. What that fundamentally means is your perspective on your situation, your perspective on the circumstances, the information that's coming to you, things that are said to you, things that happen to you, the experience you have, your perspective of those is what is the difference between those things being power or prison. If something happens and you say, well, that's going to set me back, that's a prison. On the other hand, if you say, what can I learn from this that can move me forward? That's power. Now, that's a very broad example, but it's an exercise in optimism. Your perspective, if it's a perspective of abundance as opposed to scarcity, if it's a perspective of optimism instead of pessimism, that's the difference. The more you infect yourself with the positive side, the greater your perspectives will serve you. And of course, the opposite is true. A legend is an ordinary person with extraordinary determination. Now, I happen to have a very good friend who is a multimillionaire in the network marketing field. He's one of the leaders in the industry. I admire this guy because he is an ordinary person in every respect. So ordinary that it would blow your mind. The things he's gone through, most of us would not understand, but ultimately, he's just an ordinary person who has had a rough life here and there. But along the way, he learned to master simple things. Keep it simple, be extraordinary, and determined to master the simple things. And it's made him millions. And that will work for you. Find the things that move you forward, become the extraordinary executor of those things. Don't let complexity get in the way. Don't try to become somebody you're not. Don't try to become the deal. Move forward and be extraordinarily competent at doing the things you need to do with determination. Okay? Next, you are rewarded in public for the things you do in private. In other words, the self-development that you put yourself through every single day, the reading, the journaling, the studying, the taking action to build yourself into the next form of who you are, the next evolved level, you will be rewarded in public for what you do, the success that you achieve, the contributions you make to the lives of others. That will be rewarded in public for the things you did in private. And wouldn't it be great if people say, well, boy, he's sure successful. He must have been lucky along the way. They don't know the half of it. What you went through to get where you are is what made you who you are, what will make you who you are, and who you deserve to be. Make sure your private time is spent doing the things that will produce that result. All right, final slide. Big results come from your decisions to play big, all out, and with the passion, purpose, and vision. Okay, so what you need to do is understand a fundamental concept, and this is one of the big takeaways. You first have to decide. You decide that down below, you are capable, worthy, and deserving of a life of your desire, of your choosing, and of your design. Believe it. Belief is powerful. Believe it to the point where you feel it, you see it, you know it. It exists right now today. And even though it may be a seed of the orchard that you will enjoy in the not too distant future, make the decision to play big, all out, and with the passion, the purpose, and the vision of who you are inside. Be emotionally engaged. Let it happen. So if I were to look back at this seminar that Dean and Tony put on, it's very common in what they do. It's a very common outcome. They try to engage the power of belief, emotion, and feeling, and overlay a system that you can use to engage that personal power. That's what Tony does. That's how he built his empire. And you can do the same thing every single day. Your belief in who you are, in your purpose, and in your vision is what will turn you into the person that other people will admire and follow. And yes, you can monetize that. Ultimately, that's what entrepreneurs do. They lead. Leadership is your primary product. Whatever goods and services you may offer, your leadership, your personal leadership, leading yourself is the beginning. So that's it. That's my takeaway, the final episode in our series. I hope you got value from this. And, I look forward to hearing any comments you might have. But aside from that, understand that you have the power to achieve anything that you so desire. Who you are matters to a lot of people out there. Don't ever underestimate what you're able to bring to the world. It's all up to you. And so these words and wisdoms and ideas and philosophies that I've shared through this series is, it's pretty much the seed that you can use to go out and just literally make the world a better place, however you define the world. Well, with that said, we'll see you out there on that exciting frontier of possibilities and all the opportunities it brings, and in the next episode. So stay tuned, and we will see you out there.